So here's my new haircut. It's cute, super light. Covered up the loss of hair up here so far. What are we going to do about the rest as it falls out? Well, it falls out, and then they can shave my head, and I'll wear hats. I look good in hats. I'll stick a cat on top of my head. A raccoon or a squirrel. Who's ever available at that moment. I'll go for the hat. Anyway. So, fear. Fear and envy and Mount Vernon, Washington, there isn't any envy. And there's always a lot of fear, especially with patients. When a woman feels a lump on her breast, her heart and her throat meet somewhere in the stomach. It is horrible. And I'm still lucky. I'm still in remission from that and doing very, 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 very well. So, however, it had side effects. And that's lymphedema and also my hair's falling out. This whole thing could be a whole bad nightmare. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to be in my canopy bed at home on Carr Street. Still a kid, just having very adult dreams or premonitions that I will attempt to tell my grandmother from the bottom of my toes to my lips, know that you're really a dick. And I know that I don't know anything. That's the thing. What would I do if I knew as a child what I know today? Would you confront the people that hadn't even done what they were going to do yet? You can't do anything. As an adult, I can say that, but if I went in with a child's mind, I wouldn't be able to understand that concept. We're not made to understand those concepts until we are older. My first boyfriend was Spook. His name was Steve Konopsky. He was brilliant in science lab in junior high. And he was totally brilliant. And anyway, he started coming over and kind of courting me. And we'd sit on the front porch and just do nothing but talk, you know. Never made out or anything like that. But anyway, one day he says, I want to profess my love to you. And, oh, wait a minute. Before I get there, let me tell you how I got the name Spook. He was coming over all the time and coming to my bedroom window and talking. He was the one that got my first AM/FM radio, and I would listen to the station KIMN in Denver at that time in the 70s. And it seems like yesterday suddenly. Anyway, we would talk back and forth, and then my grandfather would wake up and chase him off in his underwear. It's a great house. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I mean, literally. Konopsky was on this side of the wall, and I was on this side of the wall. It was like prison, you know. Can she come out and play ball at least? No. I wasn't allowed to play with many kids. I had two friends. I had Carla down the street, who was with Carla's, the Carr Street greenhouse, and had been there for years and years. My grandmother worked part-time there before I was born, and was planning on going full-time before I was born until her life was ruined by me, quote unquote. So it's like, what the hell? Anyway, so my mother dumped me on her, and she never went back to work. It was, my grandfather had very strong opinions about women working with kids at home. She did not plan on this kid. I was a surprise. My mother was married. Her reason for giving me up for adoption was very ugly, and it would not have looked good for her to put me up for adoption since she was married to the man. That was the embarrassing part for them. For me, I just wanted bottle fed and a doll and maybe some extra dollies, and so now I get them, collect dolls, and then I sell them off. That's what I'm supposed to do. I haven't done it much. Trolls and Little Kittles are selling really well on eBay right now, by the way. So anyway, Steve Konopsky ended up on my roof one morning, and my grandmother was out there watering the roses and the grass, and Konopsky's hanging over there and goes, "Good morning, Mrs. Romaine. I love your daughter." And she looked up at him. She goes, "Damn spook. You come out of nowhere, you're threatening me." I scared the piss out of me. She turned that hose on that kid. Rolling off the roof. It was a one-story, so he didn't get hurt too bad. He was bruised up, but his parents didn't make him complain because I figured they thought that Mrs. Romarine was going to beat their son to a pulp. And I liked him. He was really, really nice kid. So anyway, the Arvada Harvest Festival finally came along, and he got me a green stuffed dog, and I named him Harry. Or was it Harvey? I think it was Harvey. And so suddenly, Mr. Spook started looking at my girlfriend, Miss Rocks, and I got jealous, and I cried. And I went in my room, stomped in there, got RV, and stomped out, and went to the front porch and shoved it in his nose, you know. Poor Spook. Whenever my grandfather, my grandmother, my aunts would see Steve walk down the street, they'd go, "Hi, Spook." Mom's one who named him that. He would appear from nowhere. You know, I mean, he really wanted to see me, but it never worked out. He never did see my girlfriend either. It was just, you know, tween angst. Yeah, I remember that. So anyway, later on, down the road, I'm talking a lot about animals right now and how I connect with nature. I connect with the trees, and no, I'm not a tree hugger per se. I'm just really in touch with what is growing in the area that is indigenous, where you're not bringing in, what is it, kazoo from the south. Kazoo here in Washington State would be a disaster. Ecology. You know, the ecology part of it, yeah, that. Anyway, so I was up at my aunt's house, and they had literally built this house up on Tabletop Mesa. It's outside Arvada, Colorado, and Boulder, and kind of meets in the crossroads. And she was, you know, hiking and cutting rocks and making her duck pen for her ducks because she wanted duck eggs because she felt they were better for her. She's making a garden, you know. Well, raccoons eat gardens, and cougars and raccoons eat ducks. The cougar couldn't get the duck through the pen fast enough, but the raccoon can grab on with its paw and drag it through by the neck. So there was a lot of ugly scenes. like a bad History Channel of Marie Antoinette. Anywho, I was up on the rocks one day with my brother Nick, and we were just climbing around. And Tabletop Mesa, you know, there's a lot of rattlesnakes in Colorado. Low and high. So, of course, the more high cities, you can't get any lower than high. What a nightmare. Anyway, yeah, we ran into a rattlesnake. It was a small one, and we didn't move. I just looked at each other and we went, okay. So, and we didn't scream, and we're kids. And my aunt's husband came up and distracted it with noise, and it turned around and it was striking a broom. And his kids got down at that mountain damn quick. But yeah, it was quite the adventure with my rattlesnake and I. And then after that, to get over my fear, I wanted to know what snakes were and what they are. And I had a friend with a python and another friend with a boa. Whoa. I remember the boa when she was a baby. She was like this. Okay, she's cute. You know, you feed her crickets. She's just cute. And she'd cuddle around your wrist, and she would get a little tight, but it didn't kill you. And, you know, in a few years, what was her name? Carol? I think her name was Carol. Don't ask me why he named her Carol. I have no idea. Anyway, Carol was the length of his living room and could technically, if she had to, devour a whole human being or 3 small babies. It's just a pet you do not have around kids. Anyway, Carol got loose. It was heading towards winter and nobody could find her. And during spring, we were there having a party, and Carol comes out yawning from up inside the back of the refrigerator. She'd wrapped herself around that motor, and it was hot. It was warm, and so she slept there all winter long. She didn't need to eat. She was fine. But you bet we were starting to, you know, unthaw some dead rat from the freezer and putting it in there and giving it to her right away. And then got her into a bigger pen, of course. And of course she recognized who she was looking at. She knew who I was. She knew who the guy who owned her was. I mean, Carol was really smart. But there was this one guy. There was my friend's friend, and that snake hated him. And so every time the guy would come up on his motorcycle, Carol would just, her head would come out of, you know, out of the curl. She'd look around, you know, where is the son of a bitch? Carol, I don't know. But anyway, so we were playing poker one night, and one of the kids come into the kitchen and go, Carol's not in her habitat, Daddy. And my girlfriend looked at her husband and said, Carol's not in her habitat. She's going to eat her children. Well, immediately they started looking for Carol inside. Anything warm, including the refrigerator, all the way around. Could not find her. Suddenly, they came upstairs, and the guy is saying, help. Carol had wrapped herself around the guy that she didn't like, around his boot, around his leg, and around his waist. And the more he panicked, the tighter she got. So, I believe, what did Nan do? The guy's wife went next door who had a guinea pig, and she was going to get her with live bait to release. And you're trying to tell this guy, you know, you gotta relax, because, you know, the tighter she gets, the more you're gonna get, your bones are gonna be crushed, so then you're more palatable as she eats you. So anyway, the guinea pig pry worked. And, you know, guinea pigs sitting at the table with a little fence around it. And the guy and his wife now, it took about, he got off the guy that he hated, or she hated. And Carol was like, you know, the guinea pig. Okay, now I get the guinea pig. Well, and they gave her a microwave rat instead. But it seemed to calm her some. not much. She went live thing. That's the first still on? You kidding? Yeah. She's uncivilized, but I liked her. Anyway, he never came back for any more poker games. It was really too bad. Guinea Pig never looked at me again. I mean, he lost all respect for me. It's like, how could you use me that way? Anyway, but yeah, Carol lived to be about almost 30 years old. It's really rare in captivity. But she was well fed. She was very well taken care of. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boa. And, you know, you'd call, you'd say, Carol, what you doing? She'd get up, she'd look at you. She'd twist her head around and look at you and talk to you in snake tongue. Yeah. Fork tongue. I think that's what it means, snake. Maybe.